Hey, how's it going? We're in Austin, Texas today, the music capital of the world. I'm here to meet up with a singer-songwriter friend of mine, David Ramirez. The plan is to go and catch up at Better Half, grab some drinks, do a little talking, and then we're gonna come back here and write some music. It's gonna be a lot of fun. My name is Kirk Thurmond, and this is Locals. Whether it's day or night, street or stage, sound pervades every corner of Texas's world music capital. And those looking for a true Austin experience need only follow their ears to the nearest dive bar.
I do, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, man.
Cheers, Kirk.
Cheers, brother. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Kirk.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time.
Too long. You know, I spent a few years in college just kind of playing the campus coffee shop, and then moved off campus, started living in Oak Cliff, and then I met these other musicians or artists or, you know, people who were creatives. It was my first time to realize the potential of a music community and how encouraging it can be, but how inspiring it is, and how necessary having a group of people around you who are, you know, at least like-minded.
That seemed like a really important thing to have.
It grew my confidence in a great way to just keep getting invited to play, you know, and they weren't like what a resume would qualify as like glamorous shows, because again, they were backyards or living rooms. But it just bred my confidence as a writer to be invited to join this group of folks. And
it was a group, like, that was a clan. Like,
it was a clan,
They were a tight-knit group of people.
Yeah, and so I think that made me feel less of like a singer-songwriter and more of like an artist in a collective. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Which built my confidence to, you know, have the audacious idea that I would survive Nashville. But that's why I moved out to Nashville. I was like thinking in my head, I think I could do this. I think this is something that I could really wrap my head around.
What was that jump like?
It was a crash and burn, really.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I didn't really have the chops yet as a writer to survive. And then I also went out there with just this massive ego that I was the best thing since sliced bread.
Sure.
And I was scrambling to find my identity and as a writer and as a person. First time I'd ever left Texas in my life. But in reality, and in hindsight, it was just my attitude and my ego that kind of made me crash and burn. And like I said, it wasn't even just about my lack of identity as a writer or a musician, because I definitely didn't have enough experience behind the microphone or on stage to navigate who I was as a creative. But personally, I didn't know who I was, and I think that's the most necessary step ever. The songs will come, but you have to know who you are first.
For sure.
You have to know what you believe, you have to know where you stand, and without that, how are you ever going to put something into the world that will attract anyone? I had to ask, well, do I hang around, get another job, and keep doing what I have been doing? I don't know anyone out here. I don't know where to even begin. And so I said no, and I sold everything I owned, and I packed a duffel bag and my guitar in my Kia, and I just lived in my car around the country for 6 months.
My goodness.
Just homeless, and playing street corners and living rooms and open mics and wherever the hell I could play. And it was during that 6-month homeless trip that I really fell in love with music and the power of music and bringing people together, what the point was, and fell in love with writing songs and connecting with folks. And then when I moved here to Austin, it had no longer was there this idea of like, how do I navigate the industry? It was just play your songs for people anywhere you can. This is what I do now. And it was after I kind of came to that realization that things, I mean, not easily, but things began to fall in place, because I think people saw that I took it seriously and I wasn't just playing dress up anymore.
I'm really interested in that situation, that 6 months, and how Austin ended up being a choice.
You know, I was dating somebody in town, sure. And it was Texas at the end of the day. And you know, my family, I'm from Houston originally, so
okay.
It was getting closer to home and also being close to this relationship, and it didn't last long, the relationship, but I didn't really have anywhere to go, and I was tired of bouncing around so much, so I decided to plant roots.
Yeah.
And my time here at the beginning, aside from the breakup, which was gnarly, it was much like the Dallas situation, because I was playing an open mic on Barton Springs called Open House Wine, and it was a Monday night, and I signed up, played a few tunes, and these guys came up to me. They're like, "Man, really like your music. What are you doing later tonight?" And they invited me to their house for this little like jam session or whatever. Drank too much, stayed up too late, crashed on the guy's couch, and he woke me up the next morning at like 10 in the morning. He said, "Hey, here's a beer. There are a lot of people outside. We're doing a song swap in the backyard." And they had the grill out, and they were like putting burgers and hot dogs and veggies and whatnot.
You're like, "Where am I?"
I said, "Where am I? Like, this is amazing." They're like, "Get out of bed." And I was like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
And I went to the backyard, and there was probably, I don't know, 45, 50 folks out there.
My goodness.
Like a cellist, violinist, singers, guitar players, whatever, and they were all just passing the instruments around. And that was the moment I was like, I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm home. And this is what I've been looking for after 6 months of solitude, and then coming here and having the breakup and being like, I don't even know how to even live life right now. And that group of folks who I'm still very close with, they saved my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you? What does collaboration look like for you right now, as far as all this is concerned? Like, is there a lot of writing with people? Is there co-writes? Is it just you? Are you just hammering these things out yourself? What's going on?
Yeah, I do quite a bit of co-writes,
Okay.
but it has to be the right fit. So now I'm very specific about who I collaborate with. Most of my songs are written by myself, but
Sure.
But I get plenty of phone calls from people who are working on their record or you know, just wanting to hang out and have a good time. And now that looks a lot different. It's, you know, you show up at 5 p.m. and then we'll hang out till midnight, you know,
Exactly.
and we'll write a
That's
tune
what it really
in my
is.
backyard
Yeah.
as friends. You know, I find that to be a lot more worthwhile.
I think what's funny is like what I have discovered I have to do before like a legit co-write is literally just this.
Yes.
I have to do this.
Yeah, if there's not this, what are we doing?
I have to figure out what's going on.
Right.
You know.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I want to work with as many people as I possibly can, because I find it to be not only helpful, you know, when you're stuck in a rut, it's nice to have a friend help dig you out. But it's just a lot more rewarding when you can sit back in the control room with your friends, all put your arms around each other, and you're like, look what we did.
Right.
Look what we did. That to me is just the most beautiful thing ever.
I like it, man.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah. We're gonna go here in a minute.
Oh no, I'm not even done with the beer.
I mean, not now.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying later on. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna write like a little tune together.
Oh yeah, man, I'm stoked.
Dude,
Let's do it.
We've never gotten to do that before.
Uh-oh.
We've just been doing
Troubles
this
are brewing.
musically.
Troubles are brewing.
Yeah. Dude, thank you for sitting down with me.
Cheers, Kirk.
Absolutely, dude.
Really nice to see you again.
Good to see you, bro.
Tech hub, cultural incubator, historic, esoteric. There's a reason Austin lives and dies by the banner of weird. It's because it lives up to its reputation. For as much as it offers, Texas's capital city is unpretentious, but it's also delightfully unexpected. This is a city where a starting singer-songwriter can share a bill with a living legend, where a one-room barbecue joint plays host to artists stepping off the world's biggest stages. In Austin, you never know what you're gonna get. And for our inaugural writing session, capturing the magic of the unexpected is exactly what we're going for.
Right here.
Crashing back, what do I do? to survive. It's hard to forgive myself and my simple life. It takes a village, it takes a tribe. I'm all alone, no one else on my side. It takes a village, it takes a tribe. I'm at the line of scrimmage, doing my best to survive. Yeah, it takes a village, it takes a tribe. I'm at the line of scrimmage, doing my best to survive. It's hard to forgive myself and my simple life. It takes a village, it takes a tribe.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, man.